Have you ever experienced a situation where you lied out of fear? You were asked a question and then you lied because you were afraid that you may be beaten or you may be punished. Yes, almost all of us experience that thing. That's why it is good to do the right thing so that you don't end up lying. Because sometimes after the lies, it will be found out, and then the disgrace will be bigger. That was the situation of Peter when they arrested, Jesus, and he was asked in the courtyard of the high priest Caiaphas that, do you know the man? And he said, I don't know what you are talking about. Hey, Peter. Yes, but you see, prior to that, after the Last Supper that Jesus had with them, Jesus gave them a general prophecy. He gave the disciples a general prophecy that tonight all of you will flee and forsake me, because it is written, I will strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Then Peter said, hey, me, even if I should die with you, me, I will die with you. Hey, vibes. Hey, Peter. Then Jesus gave Peter a specific prophecy that before the cock crows, you'd have denied me 3 times. He was telling Peter that your case will be worse. The guy you are doing, your case, it will be worse. And Peter said, me, oh, I will never deny you. Even if I should die with you, I will die with you. And Bible says, according to Matthew's account, Bible says that, and the rest said the same. But after the rest, I suspect that they were just saying, which will not deny you, but they didn't really mean it. But it was Peter Pan that he was being guy, saying that he will not deny Jesus. But after Jesus was arrested, remember, he was taken to the courtyard of the high priest. That's after he was arrested in Gethsemane. If you have not watched the video on Gethsemane, you can watch it. It's in the list of videos that I have made. So he was taken to the courtyard of the high priest. And obviously, some of the people who came, if not all of them, most of the people who came to arrest Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane will definitely be in the courtyard of the high priest. Because right from Gethsemane, straight to the courtyard of the high priest. So almost all of them will be there. So Peter was at the courtyard. He was also warming himself with the same fire that they had set. He was sitting outside. And a maid. So I'm narrating Matthew's account. Matthew's account says that a maid saw Peter and said, he looked at Peter and said, no, you were with Jesus, the Galilean. And Peter said, I don't know what you mean. He said, woman, I don't know what you mean. The same Peter who said, I will die with you if I have to. He said, I don't know you. I don't know Jesus. He said, I don't even know what you mean at all. I don't understand your language. Then another time, another maid saw Peter and said, surely you were with Jesus of Nazareth. Remember, Jesus was coming from Nazareth, which was in Galilee. In the baptism account, you realize that. Now, Peter denied the second time with an oath. Yes, saying, I do not know the man, with an oath. So maybe he was swearing that, I swear, I swear by my father's grave or something. I don't know. I don't know the man. Hey, Peter. Yes, so he denied him the second time. And then for the third time, the bystanders, they looked at Peter carefully and they said that, even your accent betrays you. So in the other accounts, Mark and Luke, they realized that they mentioned Galilean, the fact that Peter himself was a Galilean. And remember, Jesus also was a Galilean. So they said that your accent betrays you as a Galilean. And still, Peter invoked curses upon himself. I don't know how he cursed himself, but maybe he said that, hey, if I'm the one, but may I die this night. Say me, say me no Galilee so now, enkume. If I was the one, if I drink from the sea of Galilee, may I die. May I they have caught you. No matter what, they have caught you. And you see, to relate to this, the way they said that your accent betrays you, when you compare it to your culture, if you are watching me, wherever you are coming from, you realize that there are specific people from specific ethnic groups or tribes that the way they speak, the moment they open their mouth and speak, you realize that you are coming from this side. If you are coming from the north, or you are coming from the east, or you are coming from the Volta region, for instance, I'm not being tribalistic. That is the reality on the ground. In Ghana, I am an Akan. I am an Achim. So for the Achims and the Ashantis, mostly their R and L, confuses them, their tongue. So instead of saying bread, sometimes you say bled. You understand what I mean. So when we are speaking, sometimes we confuse the R and the L. So me, for instance, I am an Achim. So anytime I'm pronouncing the L, a word with L in it, I am very careful. Sometimes when I'm speaking fast, unconsciously, I end up confusing the two easily. And that is me. I can't do anything about it. When a typical Ewe man is also speaking the English language, maybe depending on which part of the Ewe land he or she is coming from, you will detect that this person is an Ewe. The same applies to the Northerners. They have a particular way of speaking the English language. So there is one reporter on TV3 who comes from the northern region. So anytime he is reporting on a case from the northern region, the way he speaks, you get to know that a person comes from the northern region. Yeah, the Gans too in Ghana, mostly the he sound in H. They find it difficult pronouncing it. So if a guy is pronouncing heaven, don't be surprised to hear Evan. So that is it. And it is part of them. They can't do much about it. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, once in a while you end up, saying it that way. And that is your tribe. That's your identity. It is part of you. That's how God has created your tribe. It's okay to learn how to overcome these challenges with speech and all, but once in a while you may end up, saying it, and don't be shy of it. I mean, that's you. You did not create yourself. You didn't choose the tribe that you should come from. It is God that has given you, and it is your identity. So you should be proud of it. Okay, and do not discriminate against anybody based on tribe or whatever it is. So that was Matthew's account of how Peter denied Jesus. Now the slight differences. Personally, I think that in the YX syllabus, this is one topic that has more slight differences. It's no surprising that as at now, WAEC is yet to set an essay question on Peter's denials. Because the slight differences are too many. So I'm sure they don't know whether to ask the question that according to Matthew's account or Mark's account or Luke's account. Even though in all the accounts, Peter denied Jesus 3 times. But there are more slight differences there. Okay. So in Mark's account, you realize that the same maid saw Peter the second time. Yeah, the same maid. Matthew's account said another maid. But in Mark's account, it was the same maid that saw Peter the second time. And then in Mark's account, during the third encounter, the bystanders told Peter that your identity as Galilean betrays you. He said that you are definitely one of them, for you are a Galilean. And Peter denied. And also, according to Mark's account, the cock crowed twice. According to Mark's account, the cock crowed twice before Peter, wept. Yes. And Luke's account says that someone else saw Peter the second time, and it wasn't a maid that saw Peter the second time, but it was a man, because Peter said, "Man, I don't know him." So it was a man that saw Peter the second time. Now, the third time, Luke says that after the second denial, it took about an hour, an interval of 1 hour before the third denial happened. So after an interval of an hour, somebody was telling the bystanders, those who were standing by, the bystanders, that he is definitely one of Jesus' disciples, for he is a Galilean. And also, finally, Luke's account, he says that after Peter denied Jesus the third time, Jesus turned to look at Peter. And you know what that means? Guilty conscience will come in. So according to Luke, Jesus turned and looked at Peter after Peter denied Jesus the third time. After the cock crowed once. So in Luke's account, the cock crowed once. So in both Luke and Matthew, the cock crowed once. And then Luke's account added that Jesus turned to look at Peter. And Peter remembered the saying of the Lord, that before the cock crows, you would have denied me 3 times. And he went out and wept bitterly. Yes, so that's it. So in case it should come in your WASI or in your end of semester exams, you can be asked to narrate according to the Synoptic Gospels, which is likely to come. So that one, the most important thing is that you write the details of the 3 times that Peter denied Jesus. I remember bringing it in one of the end of semester exams, and it happened to be one of the cheapest questions. I never knew. So the students will write, and the man saw Peter and said, "You are one of the disciples." And Peter said, "No." And another person saw Peter and said, "Well, one of the disciples." The second time, and Peter said, "No." Another one saw Peter the third time and said to Peter, "You are one of the disciples." And he said, "No." And I cannot mark the person wrong, because it's a sign that Peter actually denied Jesus for the third time, and the details were already there. I hope you understand what I mean. So that's it. The most important thing is that you show in your essay that Peter denied Jesus for 3 good times. At least the first denial, it was a maid. All the 3 accounts says that it was a maid. So you can just give Matthew's accounts first, then you add the slight differences. Even if it says according to a particular account, you can still give Matthew's account and then add the slight differences from that particular account that they are saying you should write according to. Yes, so that is Peter's denials for you. In our next video, we'll be talking about Jesus before the high priest, or the Sanhedrin, or Caiaphas. Take note of the difference between the trial of Jesus before the Sanhedrin or the high priest and that of Pilate. The first one is religious trial and the second one is political. So take note of that in our next video. Thank you very much. This has been your CRS teacher, Sir Kwame. Here we make CRS simple, and it's the word of God. It is good for everybody, whether you are a student or not. So do well to subscribe and also put on your notification so that in case there are new videos, you will be notified accordingly. Ask a question if you have one in the comment section. You can also give a comment on your perception about the lesson. Thank you very much. God bless you.